I got a voicemail from the actual police officer, and he's like, you know, I'm gonna have to take him to jail. What is up, you guys? It's Elena here, and your girl is back with another video. And y'all already saw that title. Today I'm coming through with my very first story time. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. Hit that bell to be notified whenever I post a new video. Go ahead and like the video because you're gonna like it. You're going to like it. And drop me a comment down below. Let me know you new. Let me know you've been here. Just talk to me, okay? But y'all, let's jump right in because this is a lot. Okay, this is a lot. All right. So I'm gonna be telling y'all today about how one of my boyfriends, this is the ex of mine, boyfriend at the time, got locked up trying to break into my house. Yeah, he tried to break into your girl's house, y'all. So let's just get right into the story. Now, this took place back when I was in high school. I had a little boyfriend or whatever, my little friend, as some people would call him. And we was never really able to hang out. And the reason being is because my parents are strict. My people from the islands. If y'all have family, friends, if your people are from the islands, you know how it goes, okay? Mama ain't letting nobody come to the house. You're not sleeping over. You're not going to their house. And don't let it be a boy. Don't let it be a boy. So he was not coming to my house at all. So we would see each other, but it was like maybe like once every 2 weeks because we didn't go to school together, okay? And at that time, we were really feeling each other. I'm talking about, child, we thought we was in love. It was crazy puppy love, y'all. Y'all know how that go. We swore we was in love. I'm talking about doing the most, and he was really like really feeling me, or maybe he was just super emotional. Now that I'm an adult and I think back on it, this was a real toxic situation. You know, this was a toxic situation because homie would cry. I'm talking real tears because we were never able to see each other. And yes, I was upset too, but I would never cry like he would. But he would cry real tears, okay? And when he would cry about, you know, how he missed me so much, and you know, this is a horrible situation. And he was really on some like crazy type stuff, like, oh, I hate our parents, or I hate your parents. And I would be like, whoa there, okay? Whoa there, chill out. Cause I don't hate my mom. You know what I'm saying? She may do a little bit, but I don't hate my mama. You see what I'm saying? So yeah. But anyway, get back on track. Yeah, so he would just be like, you know, crying and talking about he missed me and this is horrible. But he never wanted to break up or anything. So we did what we could do. What we was given, okay? So, like I said, we swore we was in love. So you know how you be having them little conversations about y'all getting married, having kids. You just, you know, your future together. Mind you, we was like 16 at the time, okay? A whole 16 years old, planning our whole lives together. So during one of these conversations, he was just like, you know what, I'm tired of this. And at this time, we hadn't seen each other. Again, like I said before, we'd see each other like once every 2 weeks. Once every 2 weeks, because he lived somewhere. We didn't go to school together. So during one of these conversations, he was just like, yo, I'm sick of this. I'm coming to see you. And I'm like, you finna do what? He's like, he's coming to see me. And I'm like, okay, all right. So when he says this, I'm like, so when you plan on doing this? Because typically we had like a set day that we would do whatever we could do or would do to see each other, and it was like maybe 2 days out. So I'm like, so what day are you planning on doing this? Because our planned day is like 2 days out. And he was like, jokingly, he says tomorrow, and I'm like, no, you're not. So I'm paying him no mind. So, you know, next day comes around. We're talking as usual. I sense a lot of attitude. Pay it no mind. Okay. So we see each other as planned, as usual. Boom. Okay. This is where the story gets. It take a turn. Okay. We see each other as usual. He's, you know, he had a lot of attitude, but he gets it adjusted. We see each other. We cool. So now this is in February. I vividly remember this because this is what sparked all of the chaos. So this is in February, you know, Valentine's Day is coming up. Now we wanted to see each other, but we wasn't going to be able to because the day that we typically see each other, or the day of the week we typically see each other every 2 weeks, didn't fall on Valentine's Day. And he was crushed. I was too, but I pretty much had already figured out, like, you know, this is the way it is. This is how we have to do things. So I was just like, it's cool. If it's a couple days later, I'm okay. But he was like, no, ma'am. No, ma'am, I'm going to see you on Valentine's Day. And that's just what it is. And so I'm like, no, you're not, because that's not gonna happen. Like, how am I gonna tell my mom? My mom not stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody's stupid. When you have something planned or you're trying to go out, we already know what's up. You know, she's gonna think, you know, I'm trying to go see a little boy, trying to be fast, and mama is not going to be thinking I'm fast because I'm not fast. You see what I'm saying? So he comes up with this elaborate plan. He's detailing it, and I've already told him that no, it's not gonna happen. We're gonna wait on our scheduled day and we're gonna go see each other, and that's it. Nothing extra. Don't do too much. That's it. Okay. But he's like just going down. He's gonna do this. We're gonna do this. I gotta do this. I gotta do this. And I'm like, me? I'm not doing anything. I already told you that I'm not doing that. I'm not trying to no. So with me telling him I'm not gonna do it, I'm thinking at this point, maybe he just talking. Because I mean, we sit here and plan our future every day. So I'm like, maybe he's just talking and he's not being serious. But I mean, he's
literally like, we're skipping school, I'm getting my bike, I'm heading down there, you're gonna skip school too, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that, we're gonna hang over here because we ain't got nowhere to go. And he wasn't coming to my house.
He wasn't coming inside of my house. Again, mama don't play that, okay? So I'm just like, whatever, brushing it off, okay? So now, I never gave dude my address, like my home address. Again, he didn't live near me. He lived like in a town over, and we didn't go to school together. And my mama, I have to keep stressing this so that y'all understand. My mother did not, she still don't play them games. I was young, I'm like 16, so there's none of that. Like, no. So he's pressing me for my address at this point, and I never gave it to him because when we would meet up, we'd meet like down the street somewhere, because I never wanted to be seen like in my neighborhood or anything with him because I was scared of my mama. You see what I'm saying? So he's pressing me for my address, pressing me for my home address. And I'm telling him like, no, because at this point, he's already come up with this plan, talking about he's gonna come see me. I'm scared that you're gonna pop up at my house. You see what I'm saying? Like, you can't pop up at my house. So I'm like, no, I'm not giving you my address. You're not getting my address. And that's how this goes on for days, leading up until Valentine's Day. Goes on for days, okay? So I get tired of him pressing me. And, you know, I feel bad for doing this, but it was one of those things where this is your fault because you shouldn't have been pressing me, okay? So I end up giving him the wrong address. Yes, I felt bad for it, but he left me alone. Okay. So I ended up giving him the wrong address, but it wasn't too far. It was like an address of a house. It was like the address of a house that was like up the street. So I give him that, like, not thinking that this dude is really about to pull up. The whole time I'm thinking we are just talking. Like, we're just making this plan up because we've made plan up plenty of all types of plans, all types of hypothetical situations. And so I'm not thinking that he's really gonna pull up on me. So I'm like, here, whatever. Because I've already told him, don't come to my house. Do not come to my house, mama. Do not play that. Don't come to my house, okay? Okay. So now the night before Valentine's Day, you know, we talking like normal. You know what I'm saying? He's not pressing me about nothing. He's not doing anything crazy. So I'm thinking, you know, whatever. He's not bringing up this crazy, great, elaborate plan he done made up in his head by himself. None of that. So I'm thinking we're good, okay? I'm talking normal conversation. Nothing out of the norm, okay? So the next day, I go to school like normal. I wake up, I get ready for school, you know, do my whole little school routine, all of that. And I noticed, I mean, we would always text and, you know, high school, we text and calling each other all day. I noticed I don't get no texts, no phone calls. I'm blowing him up, no text, no phone call back. So I'm like, what is going on? So I'm sitting there and I'm like, what is going on? This is not normal, okay? So I'm just going through my school day, I would say about midway through the day. Child, I remember this moment so vividly. I'm sitting there in chemistry class and my phone is blowing up. I'm talking about just buzzing. It had to buzz, no lie, for about 30 minutes straight. A solid 30 minutes straight. And I'm like, yo, what's happening? So I'm like, let me go to the bathroom and I'm gonna check my phone and see what's going on, because I'm worried because my phone keeps buzzing. I'm like, who is trying to get a hold of me? Y'all, I go to the bathroom. I have like 45 text messages and like 137 missed calls. I'm like, what in the world is going on? So I'm getting more nervous and scared because I'm like, yo, did something happen to my people? Like, what's going on? So the first thing I check is the text messages. So I'm checking like the most recent first, of course, because that's what's gonna come up first. I'm getting text messages from this random number, and this person is just cussing me out, cussing me out. I'm talking about,
oh, I'm wrong, I'm dirty. Why would I do that? I set her brother up.
I'm like, your brother? What is happening? And so I'm scrolling up. Now I see my boyfriend name pop up, and I'm like, what is going on? So I hit his message. Y'all, I look at his messages. I'm scrolling up and there's like a thread of him documenting, y'all, every step of the way of him coming to my house. Y'all, the house I gave him the wrong address to. I'm talking about, I see, hey, just woke up. Why you not picking up the phone? Messages like that. I'm on my way. I'm almost there. Which house is yours? I'm knocking on the door. I'm sitting in that bathroom terrified, heart beating a million beats per minute, just going. And I'm just like, are you serious? So now I'm terrified to check the voice messages, okay? But I check them. I listen to the most recent one. So that random number that was texting me, cussing me out, that was his sister, y'all. And she is on my voicemail letting me have it. You hear me? Cussing me out. Talking about, oh, her brother got arrested. That's when I first found out he got arrested, when I checked the voicemail. I'm like, what? So at this point, I'm in complete shock. I've probably been gone for like 15 minutes checking checking text messages, because I listened to like one or two voice messages, but I vividly remember the one from the sister. I'm like, he was in jail? So I'm like, are you serious right now? So I go back to class, y'all, and you already know the rest of my day is just terrible. Terrible, stressed. I'm talking about, I was stressed, okay? I haven't even tried reaching back out to him at that point because I was just so scared to see what the situation was. But I went through and checked my voice messages, y'all. I had a voice message. I remember the voice message from his sister cussing me out. Y'all, cussing me out. I was every type of everything with that girl. I also remember I have voice messages from him, and he's like, it was so crazy because you could hear the frustration building and building and building. It's like when he got there, he's ringing the doorbell of, I don't know who house. I don't know whose house he's at, but he's ringing the doorbell. Nobody's coming to the door. The voicemail where, the police officer comes and he's calling me, blowing my phone up like, yo, come outside. I need you to come tell the officer XYZ. And I'm like, what? I got a voicemail from the actual police officer, and he's like, I'm gonna have to take him to jail. The neighbors don't call the police. He's talking about, you live here, Miss Elena. And I'm like, oh my God, I am just feeling horrible because I gave him the wrong address, okay? So, mind you, I'm terrified to reach out to him, so I don't reach out. I do not reach out. But I don't reach out at all. Like, I'm scared to text. I'm scared to call because I'm just like, yo, what have I done? I feel terrible. And the first thing that's on my mind is like, yo, it's over. Whatever relationship we thought we had, yo, is completely over. But let me tell you what I was happy and excited for. My mama don't know nothing that happened. Okay? She doesn't know anything that happened because I gave him the wrong address. Okay? So my mom... that was what I was the most concerned about. My mama don't know nothing. All right. So later on that night, surprisingly, he reaches out to me and he is pissed. Okay. He gives me a whole breakdown of what happened. And what he explained to me was, so in the midst of all that, calling and texting me to give me updates on where he was in the process of getting to my house. He says he gets there, he knocks on the door, nobody answers the door. And so he's just ringing the doorbell. So he has the great idea of walking around the house, looking through the windows, trying to up the windows, y'all. He's trying to up the windows because he's thinking, in his mind, his whole thought process was, my mother is keeping me in the house. She won't let me come to the door. She knows he's outside type of stuff. And I'm like, what? So his thought was, I'm going to break into the house and save me, on some trying to save me from the evil mama type stuff. And that wasn't even the case. So while he is around the back trying to pull up a window, open the back door, the neighbor sees him and they call the police on him, which they had every right to, because what are you doing? Regardless of if that was my house or not, why are you trying to break into my house, sir? Okay, like, what? Who goes to the house and you don't answer the door so they try to break in? Anyway, so he gives me the story and I'm like, yo. And so he's asking me, why did you give me the wrong address? And I tell him straight up, you were pressing me. I told you don't come to my house. And this is the reason why I gave you the wrong address, because of this fear right here. I didn't want you coming to my house acting a fool like you went to them people's house acting a fool. So that's why I told you, mama, don't play that. Giving him the whole spill, letting him have it. So after that whole spill of cussing him out, going in on him, even though he was mad at me, going in on him because it was like one of those things where it was, I done told you what the situation was and you still went against the grain and did what you wanted to do. What made me realize this dude was like nuts was, first off, he wasn't even mad that he got arrested. He wasn't really even, he was more mad at the fact that he didn't see me than anything. He wasn't mad he got arrested. He was a little upset I gave him the wrong address, but it was, he was not caring too much, okay? And at that time, I thought it was cute, but think it, like, again, every time. And again, as I reflect on this story, it makes me realize more and more just how toxic this situation was, okay? Because I thought it was the cutest thing ever. And that's not cute, okay? It's not cute at all. We ended up not breaking up like immediately, which we should have, but we didn't. We ended up not breaking up like immediately. So I was like, okay, cool. But the thing that I didn't like about that whole situation was after he got arrested and I gave him the fake address and stuff, um, he was trying to guilt trip me into giving him the real address. It was all something on some, if you really loved me, you'll do it. I already got arrested the first time. If this, that, and the third, you'll just give me the right address. And I'm telling him straight up, like, I already given you the reason why I can't, or I don't want to give you the address, why I don't feel comfortable with it. Ultimately, we ended up breaking up. But it was like a month later after the fact of him just like crying real tears and begging for the address. And the crazy thing is, it wasn't like we didn't see each other in the midst of that. Like I said, we saw each other every 2 weeks, but I guess that wasn't enough. But realistically, I mean, once or every 2 weeks is kind of not enough. But we were in high school. We look kids. So, but yeah, y'all, I had to break it off with him because, I was scared of my mama more than anything, and I'm not gonna disrespect my mama house. You're not gonna get me in trouble. I love my life. So yes, I had to get rid of him because he was doing too much. But yes, y'all, that was my story about how, my little story time or whatever about how the little boyfriend I had at that time got arrested for trying to break in my house, y'all. If y'all enjoyed this story, y'all go ahead and leave me a comment down below. Let me know if y'all want more videos like this, because I definitely have a slew of story times I could give y'all. But yeah, until the next video, peace.